Welcome to the Monster Movie Madhouse. Today we're talking about Universal's Dracula from 1931, starring Bela Lugosi. Now, did you know Bela Lugosi wasn't always the first choice to play Dracula? No, in fact, the first choice to play Dracula was Conrad Veidt. You might know him from playing Cesare in The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Well, he said no. He was afraid about his German accent not translating to talking pictures, so instead of doing the movie, he moved back to Germany. It's great. Producer Carl Laemmle Jr. and director Todd Browning said, well, the next obvious choice is not Bela Lugosi. It is Lon Chaney Sr., of course. He had come off of great hits for Universal, such as Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Phantom of the Opera. Fortunately, he would die from cancer just a month before shooting began. So they were, once again, without a Dracula. And then they decided to turn to the guy who'd been playing it on Broadway for the last couple of years, Bela Lugosi. Well, also because he told them he'd take a huge pay cut for the role. Now, while they were filming Dracula, they were also filming a Spanish-language version of the film, with a whole different cast, whole different director, but on the same sets. So the English version was shoot in the day, the Spanish version was shoot at night, and this gave the Spanish version actually an advantage because they got to watch the dailies of the English version and then improve upon the scenes at night. And honestly, if you watch both movies together, it actually is a technically better movie. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a better acted movie. I think, for the time being, they're both about the same, except for Bela Lugosi, obviously, just towers above everybody else. But yeah, they got to play around with some special effects and some more intricate camera moves that the English version just did not do. And a lot of that had to do with the director. Todd Browning was a staple of the silent era, made great movies in the silent era, but he had trouble sort of making the crossover to talkies. In fact, there are large portions of the movie that are basically shot like a silent film. Yeah, you get this sort of uneven movie that doesn't have a lot of urgency to it. Years later, Philip Glass would actually be commissioned to make a new score for the film, and he did do that with the Kronos String Quartet, and that, to me, is the way to watch the movie. It is a great score, first of all, and it just adds a lot of layer and depth to a movie that really needs it. Obviously, Bela Lugosi was the star attraction. He is absolutely wonderful in this movie. There are reports of people fainting at the premiere. Whether that's true or not, who knows? But, in 1931, people had never seen anything like this before. In fact, this was the first supernatural horror movie in America that was made where there's no explanation, no logic to it. It's just, yeah, he's a vampire. And of course, it goes without saying, this was a massive hit for Universal. It started the American horror movie as we know it, and it started the Universal tradition of creating monsters. And of course, the next one they turned to would probably be the most iconic of them all, Frankenstein.